Our Spring Grove Coach Conversation brought to you by Spring Grove Communications. We're with head coach Kody Moore. And coach, another exciting, entertaining ball game last Thursday night. You ended up with the win 28-24 over Mabel Canton. One of those fun rivalry games. Just from an atmosphere perspective, you had the snow before the game, wind was whipping, it was really, really cold, and it was an entertaining ball game. I'd imagine that's just one of those games that the kids are going to have a memory of for quite some time.
Oh yeah, for sure, Darren. There's no doubt about that. It was one of those things where it kind of had that playoff atmosphere back again, and that was really nice to see. And it'll be good, obviously, in preparation for playoffs this week now. Like you said, it was just kind of a classic scene: snow coming down under the lights, and the kids were real excited to square off against a big rival for us, and we were real happy to play hard and thought we played. We started off maybe a little slower than we wanted, but was real happy with the way we battled back and in the end got the job done. So.
And you were down 10 points going into the fourth quarter. Isaac Griffin struggled a little bit early on in the game, but seemingly on the scoring drive to make it 24-21, he had a big third down conversion on that drive on a scramble, and that seemed to just turn his night around completely. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was real proud of the way Isaac battled back after kind of having a tough earlier part of the game, and we had a couple turnovers down in the red zone there, throwing a couple picks. But for him to make the plays that he made late in the game when we really needed him to, that tells you a lot about him. And I was just real happy at the way he bounced back and showed the way you can battle through some adversity there earlier in the game. And those big plays down the stretch, that shows you a lot about your team overall when you're able to play from behind at the end of a game like that. So was real pleased with the overall performance late in the game, especially.
And you had two 80-plus yard touchdowns against the wind in the fourth quarter. Conventional wisdom says you're not supposed to do that. How'd you get it done?
Hey, it's all those guys getting it done out in the field. I thought our guys up front, they did a nice job giving Isaac time, especially that one to Caden. That seemed like it hung up in the air forever, and it just was right smack where it needed to be. Caden was able to run under it and catch it in stride and take it all the way to the house. And then again, the one to Reed Bierke there later in the game, even more so. Another great spot. Isaac put it right there. Reed ran a great route. And the guys up front got it done again. And that was just real fun. Like I told you before, Darren, it's nice to see those guys battle in those clutch situations when you really need somebody to step up. I thought across the board, we just did a really nice job there.
And that's been the case in a lot of your games this year. You might have struggled a little bit. You might not have gotten the starts that you wanted, but more often than not, your team has finished pretty well. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, especially this last stretch of games here, it seems like that's been the case. And, that bodes well for moving forward into playoffs here, being able to, because, every game is going to be tough. It's the time of year where everybody's giving you their best effort across the board. And I like where we're at right now, and hopefully we can get the job done tomorrow night against Houston.
You faced a physical running game with Mabel Canton. Gavin Johnson, a very good back, had a good night against you, and the Mabel Canton offensive line performed pretty well. And pretty much a similar style that you're going to face tomorrow night with Houston. Was that maybe kind of a perfect opponent to prepare you for your first round game?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hats off to Carl and Mabel. They ground and pound, and they basically they had the ball almost the whole first half. It seemed like we only had a couple possessions, and that's exactly what Houston is going to do as well. They're going to try to ground and pound, and keep your offense off the field. They're the style offense where 3 yards in a cloud of dust is exactly what they want to see. So we have to do a better job of trying to get them off schedule a little bit and make them getting some down and distances where they're not as comfortable. So that'll be our challenge early on, and hopefully be able to get their offense off the field a little bit so we can get the ball in our hands some. So.
And you did beat them in the first game of the season. Do you take anything away from that game as you prepare for tomorrow night, or was that a case of it being 6 weeks ago and you guys are different football teams now?
Well, I think it still gives you a little bit of confidence knowing that you were able to get the job done against them once. But just looking at film, there's no doubt about it. Houston is a much better ball team than they were and early in the year, and obviously we hope that's the case for us too. So you take a little confidence from it, but at the same time, I told the guys, I said, this is a team that's playing really well right now. They had a real close loss against Lanesboro, who is one of the top teams in our section. So we know that they're playing well, and we're going to have to play our best brand of ball in order to get the job done.
Hopefully you can do exactly that tomorrow night, Coach. Keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thanks a lot, Darren.
That's Kody Moore, head coach of the Spring Grove Lions, on our Spring Grove Coach Conversation, brought to you by Spring Grove Communications.